G'day folks, this is Sim. Welcome back to ARK Survival Evolved, and how about we take a minute to have a look at the island that we have been living on. So we just come around here a little. We should be able to see the place where we set up. It should be just down past these trees over here. And there it is down there. Alright, so that's our place. That's the plateau. Oop, there's a blue beacon over there. Let's head over there. We'll have a look as we're flying along. In fact, if I go to the external camera, we can do it now. So we can see that's the plateau. Obviously you can't see the rocks at this distance because they haven't loaded in. There's a gorilla down there and a few other bits and pieces. Let's keep rolling. See if we can get here before this despawns. Because there is one other bonus which we haven't mentioned yet. When I reached level 35, I also unlocked purple beacons. So we now have some more good quality stuff which is going to become available to us. So let's just jump off here and try not to get stuck on his wing. And well, look at that. Free Stegosaurus saddle and a medium crop plot blueprint. We've already got that, so we'll leave that behind. Now hopefully I'm not going to be too heavy because that Stego saddle actually weighs a bit, and we're going to have to get ourselves a Stegosaurus now. We also need to find a mate for our friend Hodor, and we probably want to find ourselves a high level Parasaur as well, something that can handle a little bit more weight than our friend Raz. But for now, let's just go check out this beacon and then we will do some serious exploring. And he's leveled up, so jump off. And what have we got in our first purple supply crate? Compass, which I've already got. But more importantly, oh, that's nice, that's a ramshackle. So that's a mammoth saddle. And the mammoth is something else that we're going to want to get hold of, because mammoths are absolutely beastly when it comes to... Now, can you carry me? You're going to be a little slow, yes, but that's okay. Let's just head down here. Now, there is one other key which is rather useful to know, and not a lot of people know this, even some of the bigger YouTubers. When you're on a Pteranodon, if you want to slow down and stop, the simplest thing to do is press the air brake, X, and you will come to a complete stop in midair. Very, very useful when you're maneuvering around. So let's... Whoa, we are so slow. Hothead, can you do me a favour, mate? Can you just toss me up there? Thank you. That helps a lot. Alright, where am I going to put these extra saddles for the time being, because I don't actually have the dinos to put them on. That's full. That's full. That one's not full. Okay, so we'll toss those in there. And obviously the problem that we have is that we are completely full and we really need a proper base. Something without a hole in the floor would be handy, and preferably without dodos that are trapped under the floor as well. Before we do that though, I probably should go over this because I haven't actually gone into it in detail. This is the preserving bin. So if we have a look at this, we put spark powder in it. It will keep food fresh for longer. So you can see here that this meat spoils in 123 as opposed to the normal meat which I'm carrying here, which is generally around about 10 or 20 minutes, I think, per piece. I can't remember the exact numbers. The other thing that it does is if you have oil, and this is part of the reason why I was so eager to harvest the trilobites early on, is oil plus cooked meat or cooked prime meat will give you prime meat jerky and cooked meat jerky. Now as you can see in the preserving bin, the cooked meat jerky lasts for 19 days. Now that seems like a huge number, but you've got to remember that in multiplayer the server's running all the time. Even carrying it around, that one piece will still last for nearly 2 days before it decomposes, so you don't have to worry quite so much about food rotting. It's also more nutritious, so you don't have to have as much. But we'll leave it in here for now. The other awesomeness with when it comes to the jerky is that it's used in a lot of the recipes for the dino kibble. The dino kibble we cook up in the cook pots. Takes a whole bunch of stuff including crops which we're going to have to get growing, and it is by far the best way to tame dinosaurs. The speed difference when you're using kibble is remarkable. But we want to hit the road, so I need to have a bit of a snack, and I need to run down here. It is raining. Actually, I keep forgetting that you can refill a water skin when it's raining just by hitting the key. And we are going to jump back on our friend here after we've leveled him up. Oh, he got some prime meat. Oh, that's right. Brontosaurus and T-Rex were having a fight, and I raided the Bronto after the Rex had killed it. So that's gonna decompose shortly anyway because I'd forgotten about it. At this point in time, as much as I would like to increase his movement speed, I think it's probably more important to increase his melee damage so that I can fight if I'm forced to. So we'll bump that up, we'll get that to about 400%, and then we'll start pushing his movement speed up to about 150. Okay, let's rock and roll. So we are looking for somewhere to set up our next base. It's not going to be our final base, but it is most definitely purple beacon. It is definitely going to be a base that we're going to be at for a while because we need to get a lot of the fundamentals in place before we move into the northern areas that I was talking about a while back. But before we do any of that, let's go check this beacon out. Isn't it awesome to be able to travel like this? What have we got? Give us something delightful. Okay, an anklo blueprint. That's pretty good. The ankylosaurs, not too worried about the metal sign. The ankylosaurs are your main source of flint once you get one tamed. And in fact, let's see if we can find one, because you don't see them around on the southern part of the island. So let's do a little bit of a tour. Wow, that guy's... Wow, there's a whole lot of stuff going on down there. But they look exceptionally red. They again don't have the glow, but I would swear that they were alphas. I really would swear. Let's have a closer look. They're moving too fast. Where'd he go? Yep, there's a male alpha raptor and a female. Oh man, they're mate boosted. Oh, they will devastate around here. And I so would like to be able to take them on. What am I carrying on me at the moment? I don't have enough crossbow bolts. Alright. There is a very high probability that they will destroy anything around. They're not likely to die. So I think we'll be coming back, but not straight away. Let's go and have a look and scout. So we've come from that island over there. That's the green beacon. The blue beacon's over this way, and the red beacon is over here. Take a good look at this area, because this area is about to change. A patch is coming out. Well, it's probably deploying now while I'm talking to you guys, which is going to introduce two brand new biomes to ARK, and that will be the swamp and the snow biomes. And this area through here is all going to become swampland. So it's going to be very interesting. Now let me just brighten the game up so that we can see while we're flying around, although you will notice that at night it really does look gorgeous. You can see the beacons so much more clearly, see the different colors. It's much easier to spot things, and it just looks absolutely gorgeous. And I'm not playing on the highest graphical detail levels so that I can record well. With this game cranked up, it is really quite lovely, and it's still got a lot of optimization to go. So let's brighten things up for YouTube, and we'll probably go all the way up to 3.2, I think. Alright, and yeah, now that does wash things out, I know, but we do want to have a good look around and explore. So if we come down here, alright, this is the dinosaur spit. This area of sand through here is almost always full of brontosauruses and other dinosaurs. There are regularly battles between them and the Rexes which come down onto the beach. There's obviously something going on down. Yes, there's a couple of Rexes over the back over here. And yes, and yeah, it gets very, very interesting down here on the beach. If we have a close look around, we can see the stegos, which we now have a saddle for, and we're going to have to hunt one of those down. I'm looking for some of the dinos. Oh, that Rex just got wrecked. Now, you want to be careful when you're flying around a bunch of angry brontosauruses, because that tail swipe covers a huge range, and it can really mess you up if you're not careful. However, we're going to take some free food from this Rex corpse, and we will continue on. So I was really hoping to spot, and I will see one sooner or later. There's a couple of dinosaurs. There he is. So down here we have some ankylosaurs. They're not particularly fast, but they are absolutely brilliant when it comes to trashing stones, and they give you quite a bit of flint. There is another fellow around here. They're also great, by the way, for gathering metal, which is even more important. Of course, you've got to get them up onto the mountains where all the metal is, but that's another issue altogether. There may be, if we're lucky around here, a Doedicurus. What is... Okay, that Dilo got a free feed. And the Dodies are very similar to the Ankylosaurs. They are the tank of the ARK by a long shot. They can curl up into a little ball and they're almost indestructible. But they are brilliant for gathering stone. This cliff face here is somewhere that is very familiar with me. It's one of my favourite places on the island. You can set a base up here, and it gives you great access to all of the dinos that are down here. A central spot to see a lot of... Go away, these ants are annoying. As I was saying, a central spot to see the various beacons. You've got access to the mountains, not terribly close but not too far away, particularly when you head down along the beach over here, or along the river. You can get to the base of that mountain there quite quickly, and you'll find a lot of good things like mammoths and other things. There is only one problem with this area, and that is something that drives me to distraction. So if we come down here and land, probably around here will do. This grass. One of the issues with ARK is that, as you can see, the grass is growing through the rocks. It also grows through foundations. When you place foundations down, it doesn't clear the ground cover, and it looks absolutely horrible. Not to mention the fact that you can see that this grass is really quite tall. So just moving around in here is a pain in the butt. Let's jump back on. The flattest area is down through here, and this is a good spot to set up a base. Another good spot is right about here. There's a nice flat area, and there's not quite so much of the taller grass. As you head up the hill there is, but through here is not too bad. And you can fence off this top area and block that whole section off. Put a dinosaur gate in there, another one over the other side, and you've got a good base area. However, as I said, the problem with this is that, and the sun's coming up already because I've got the short night set. So let's set the game back to normal light levels. Okay, still a little bit late, but that's okay. We can enjoy the sunrise. But as I was saying, the grass is driving me a little bit crazy, and I'm thinking that what I might be doing, now that we've got a chance to have a look around, is over here there is another cliff face, and I wanted to just have a look over here and see how flat the terrain actually is. I'm wondering whether there might be a spot up here where we could set up a base, because the grass here is, well, as you can see, there's no grass, it's more of the jungle. But with the patch that's coming, this could also turn into swamp. If we just come through here, there is this valley which cuts through here, which leads to the northern part of the island, and once you move past this point here, things generally tend to get a lot more dangerous. You'll find a lot of Rexes and all sorts of other nasties floating around on this side over here. If we come down this way, one of the many waterfalls, and this is a nice spot here. You're not too far away again from the mountains, and there is some terrain around here that we could be setting a base up on, although it's not very flat and it doesn't have many ways of closing off the access, so you basically need to build a full walled fort all the way around, which is one of the reasons that I like cliff tops, because you can use the cliffs for defensive purposes or just to keep things away from you. So we have a look around here. Alright, we've got all this terrain through here which is quite thick and lush, but it doesn't allow you very good visibility. Even when you've cleared a few of the trees, it's still not great. So I want to come back over here. The other possibility that I've considered is to actually see about setting up somewhere along here. Again, the grass isn't too thick down this way, but it still can poke through your foundations at times, and it's not as flat through here, so I'm not really sure whether it would work. I'm definitely thinking I might be able to get away with something up here, but this terrain here, until I actually clear it, I'm not going to be able to see how level it actually is. Doesn't look too bad through here, so we may be able to do something, but there's a lot of these rocks here which are permanent fixtures. We can't break them, and that is probably going to take away. I really am struggling to find a spot that really stands out for me. Over here, oops, need to go in for an emergency landing and hope there's nothing nasty down here. I haven't been watching my stamina because I've been talking too much. So let's just recharge quickly before something bad happens, like we fall on top of a Spinosaur like that one over there, which would not be cool. Here we go. So as I was saying, over here is another interesting spot, but I have scouted this area before, and as tempting as it is, there is one fundamental problem that I've noted with this place over here. Lots of Brontos and Rexes up around the hill here. Now they probably won't spawn if we get a base up on top of the hill, but this area seems to get way too hot. And it's a bit of a shame actually, because just over there is a mountain which has mammoths, saber-tooths, metal, flying bees that drive me nuts. Or not bees, flying ants. So yeah, getting set up here would be a bit of a challenge with all of this going on. Although I think we would have a fairly decent chance of taking out any of the surrounding monsters, but the heat is a problem, and most of the armors in this game are designed to deal with the cold, but they don't do a very good job of dealing with the heat. That's some interesting colours on that one. What level are you, just out of curiosity? Not easy to spot these guys, to get close enough to these guys to see easily. Let's just have a quick look. Oh, it's low level, whatever it is, wherever it's gone. Okay, I'm getting distracted. I need to stop. So basically, if we look down to the south, you can see that there's not much in the way of mountains, which means there's not much in the way of metal, and metal is so important. If we come over this way, we've got a lot of rocky terrain, and this area here is not very flat, and you really want a flat spot for a base, or I do anyway. That's just the way I am. If we come over this way, you can see that as we get to the base of the mountain here, we can already see metal bearing stones, and the higher up the mountains, the more of these you'll find. If we come over here, this one is one of the taller mountains, and do I have the stamina to get up there? If I don't sprint, I should be able to. You'll notice that when we get within range of the mountain, that the temperature shifts, because the mountains are all quite cold. Now some of this may change, because as I said, the area below me is all going to become swampland from the indications that we've seen so far. So other things may change. But you can see if we come up here, all sorts of stuff going on the sides of the mountains. We've got mammoths falling off the cliffs. We've got rexes. And we've got the Argentavis, which is the other flyer. We won't be playing with those for a while. One of the advantages of the Pteranodon is it can't carry as much as an Argentavis, but they're a heck of a lot faster. So let's get up here before we run out of stamina, and hope that there isn't any nasty surprises waiting up here. This you can see is obviously I believe the term is a caldera. It's the top of a volcano, which is currently quite cold. And up here we have access to a few things. Lots of metal. And if we just tell you to stay still, we also have access to these crystals. But unfortunately, we don't have the ability to get large quantities of them without the right dinosaur. I can mine these and they will grow back, but they also weigh quite a bit. The other thing that's up here, which we might be able to spot if we have a look around, oops, there it is down there, is obsidian. And obsidian is also rather important. We also get quite a bit of metal out of obsidian rocks. But we also get a ton of metal out of these rocks. But this guy here can't carry a lot, so I'm not going to grab too much. Just enough to show off what's going on. And then over here we have the red beacon, and this whole area between these mountains here is some of the most dangerous terrain in ARK. And the red obelisk, I believe, not 100% sure, but I believe this area is all going to become a massive snow biome. So that's going to change things quite dramatically. It's also going to introduce some new creatures. There's 3 new dinosaurs which are due to come in when the patch comes. And as I said, it's probably going to install after I finish up tonight. And then finally over here in the northeastern side of the island, we've got a couple more mountains. The whole area through here is quite cold, and it's an area that I haven't spent a lot of time in, so I'm not particularly familiar with it. But let's just head down here towards this blue beacon, and we might get lucky and spot some saber-tooths along the way. Lots of raptors causing havoc down here at the moment. Not seeing any saber-tooths, which is a little sad. They are awesome creatures. But we've got plenty of time. We'll find some. Let's just see if we can land down here, or whether there's going to be something waiting that wants to eat our face. Looking pretty good. Not seeing anything particularly scary. Brakes on. Oops. And blueprints for a smithy, and none of those are of any good to us because we've got both of those already. And this is the downside of jumping off. You often find this, you suddenly have to go hunting for your dinosaur. Alright, so let's head back over this way. This area over here is another possibility. So we're coming back towards that mountain over there where all the Rexes and the Brontos were fighting it out. But just down here we've got this little peninsula, I suppose, that juts out where the river bends. Again, it's quite rocky, but we can clear the rocks. The area itself is in fact relatively flat, so it probably would make a pretty decent place to set up. We've got a reasonable amount of trees close by. We're right at the base of one of the mountains, and at the moment you can see that the temperature appears to be quite neutral, so it certainly has a lot of potential. The only downside is, oh, there they are. You do get visitors, and there's a pack of saber cats down here that are going to be causing absolute havoc, and that is more bugs. The problem is that although they are driving me nuts, go away, I'm trying to talk to people. You. Is that it? They both dead? Whoops! They, okay, I think they were actually trying to get to me. Let's have a look at them and see if we can figure out what level they are. Alright, we should be able to get a view from here. There they are, level 9, level 9, level 15, and level 6. Well, they're all babies. But aren't they awesome? Oh, they were probably chasing that bug. That's probably why they all leapt off. Okay. So, yeah, as I was saying, with the mountains there, if we set up a base here, we are definitely going to have things coming down the mountain, and they could make life difficult. The other problem is although this point here is quite interesting, travel again can be a bit of a problem along the edges here. It's very rocky, so moving land-based dinosaurs around can be a bit of a pain, which again is part of the reason why I like this area over here so much. And if it wasn't for the fact that the grass was so bloody tall, I would be very happy to set up over here again. There is one other possibility that I haven't considered. Let's go and check it out now. We've got a reasonable amount of stamina, although scorpions on the beach. Still haven't seen a dodie. This looks like a nice clear spot. Just charge up for a minute. And let's get going again. There was one other possibility. The other possibility is over here. You can see here we've got this very flat area down in here with the trees. And again, the grass is not too high. This area is very, very flat. The only downside to this area is that we're inside of this ravine, which means we can't really protect ourselves from the sides because things are constantly going to come off the cliffs. However, if we come up here, you can see we've got an access point up here which can be blocked off. And then when we get up onto this top area here, this area here is actually pretty flat. And I could probably do something quite decent up here. I've considered right up on the point here as well, but once we get up to here you can see the terrain gets very uneven again. But I'm thinking that this area here has a lot of potential. Once we clear it off, block the accesses, stuff's not going to be able to get at us through these cliffs here. And if we come around this side, you'll see that there is more cliff around here. So that area all through there is actually quite flat. I'm pretty sure that rock's a permanent feature. But we probably don't need to come over that far. For a base, what we're probably looking at is this area here. And we can block off the back section. Put a dinosaur gate right here to allow us access down, and we've got access across to the mountains. And the other thing that we've got is if we just come through here, not very far, we get over to the beach on the west coast. You've got this massive lagoon over here which exits out up there, which this spot here is an awesome spot that we could set up some pens for our dolphins and sharks and various other bits and pieces, and it's not going to be too far away. Actually, I've never had a close look at this before, and this area here actually on top of this cliff actually looks quite flat. The only concern would be is that although this terrain does look pretty flat, there's been some fun and games going on over here. I would much prefer to be further over this way. Is that an alpha? Looks quite large. No, it's just a normal. I've got to be careful because this guy here can do a lot of damage. There we go, we got him. But he doesn't have a lot of hit points. So, yeah, we don't want to hurt him. I don't know why. This guy seems faster than 100 and... oops. Well, yes, what was I saying? Seems to be faster than movement speed of 136. But anyway. So, yeah. So, that area there is tempting. It's not going to have as good a view as the area over here has, but it won't have the problems with the ridiculously tall grass either. And it still allows us access straight out onto the beach here, and if we also cut back through here, we can get over to the mountains and get to some of the better stone. So yeah, so we really need to make a decision, and then we need to see about moving. Let's head back down here and see whether those two alpha raptors are still around, because I could definitely do some serious... Oh! And this is exactly what I was talking about. And to make life worse, I'm going to come down on top of that blasted scorpion. And yeah, I really need to be taking more care. And I'm probably going to fall off, because I've done this from too high. This is not good. It's not going to let me land. I may die here, and the worst part about this is I'm hoping that scorpion goes away. Can I force this guy to go in for a landing? No, he doesn't want to land. He's run out of stamina and he's not going to land, and eventually I'm going to fall off and die. This is rather deep. There we go. Oh, I didn't die. Oh, okay, I got lucky. Alright, let's get back on and let's just get away from that scorpion. I really expected to die then. Let's get our stamina back, and I am going to have to really make an effort when I'm talking to keep an eye on my stamina. When you're just playing the game, it's not too hard because it's one of your focuses, and you focus totally on the game, you're not focused on commentary. Alright, so yeah, those raptors are still there. Oh! And I just took a hit because those Brontos are fighting that Rex. What do we got? We got two Rexes down there, as well as those raptors. To fight the raptors and have a chance, I'm going to need a ton of bolts, and I'm going to need to be able to get myself onto one of these rocks, hopefully in a position where they can't actually get up to me. Let's just have a quick look. I'll switch over here. I want to have a look at this stone here and see whether or not it's actually... See, it has the potential. Can I land you up here? Air brake. Will you land? Alright. Okay, so now the question is, can they get up here? Because if they can, they will destroy me in about 3 seconds flat. And the raptors do have a nasty habit of jumping a lot higher than they should. So let's see if we can ping one. Was that a hit or not? It looked like a good shot. Oh, there you go. Now you, right there. That was a hit. Now we're about to find out if I'm going to die or not. Can it get up here? Can it get up here? I would prefer to be able to hit it in the head, because I may not be able to kill it if I can't get a headshot on it. Oh, this is so scary. Come on. You've got to be careful too. Sometimes these things will actually... Oh, that's what I was worried about. Oh, hang on. Oh, stay there. No, stay there. I don't think it can get up here, but it won't stay still. That's it. Stay there. Stay where I can hit you. Oh, you're kidding me. The bolts aren't striking. They're getting stuck for some unknown reason. If it can get up that edge there, I'm a dead man. Come back here. Don't fight those things. Come here and get stuck so I can... Oh, look! The bolts are literally stopping... Whoa!